1988 was a time full of money, women, and a fuck ton of blood, all of the payment of 2 whole ass cities. Ayo! This is Yakuza 0. Technically the start of the entire franchise, and whoo, baby, is it a gem and a half. A game with so much polish, a game with so much content, a game that I will suck dry till it's nothing but a shriveled prune. Yeah, I love this game that much. Although there are some spots here and there, but it'll be elaborated in due time. Just at least give me 30 to 50 minutes to get to that. I'll get there, trust me. But to preface the case for the entire franchise, this is not a hard-ass action game. This is not Devil May Cry, or Bayonetta, or fuck, it isn't even God Hand, for God's sakes. It is simple, fun, it's got really good stories, and a fuck ton of side content that's there for the players who really want it. I'm going to say this now. I am the type of person to just play through the story and beat it on hard and be done. Yakuza games are filled to the brim with hours worth of content. You could literally play a Yakuza game akin to an RPG for how long you could possibly spend with it. So if you really want to, you can just grab a drink, grab a snack, and just play the game. You don't have to care. So if you're down to spend hours playing the games to completion, all the more power to you. I'm just here to talk about the game itself. I will mention sub-stories, but not to the length that some would like. Alright, enough about prefacing this entire video. Let's get to talking about this franchise of fisties, men without shirts, and a whole lot of guns getting shot out of hands. We gotta start talking about the poster boy of the entire franchise, right now! Being a 20-year-old himbo is really painful, isn't it? Welcome to the Babby Dragon of Dojima. As cute as he is, he's still a menace to the fuckwits of Kamurocho for a variety of reasons. I mean, just look at him. He's so square. Yeah, he's still the same Boy Scout as we would know him to be in later games, albeit with a bit more youth. And I mean a bit more life in him.
Huh? おい、なんだよ。全然食ってねえじゃんか。
だからもう食えねえって言ったろ。大盛りなんか頼みやがって。
無難な線だとこんなところか。
なんかパッとしねえな。地味だな。
それが肩切ってもんだろうが。見え張ってなんぼなのは極道だけだ。
ただこれじゃなんていうか貧乏人っぽく見えるんじゃねえか。
だいたいお前その服なんだよ。ちゃんとしろっつったろ。全然肩切り見えねえじゃねえか。
あんたに言われたくねえよ。
あ？あれ？そうか？
And when I mean a bit, I mean a fucking lot more life in him. Man knows how to run and does it well. Jokes aside from the story, Kiryu's just a wee baby himbo.
よせよ。そんなわけねえだろ。
And he's gonna do what he can to kick ass, help people, and grow into the man we know him to be in later titles. Gameplay-wise, because I'm gonna bring this up for both Kiryu and Majima, he's got styles. Yes, Kiryu has style. However, unlike Wacky Woohoo Pizza Man over there, his styles aren't relegated to a certain button. No, they change an entire moveset and have their own niches. Let me try to sell you on some of these and give my personal opinion on each style. You ready? Brawler, the workhorse style for Kiryu. It's consistent, and it does everything for you. I prefer this style the most since it's strong, decently fast, and once you get things unlocked via real estate. Anyways, Brawler has your basic needs covered, and if you ever need consistent damage, this one is your go-to. Rush. Fast, stun possible, and lacking crowd control. But that's not the purpose of this style, as it's mainly meant for just pushing buttons and dodging. Maybe a crowd control heat, but in this style, heat is everything for it. So unless you want to gamble with death, I'd recommend keeping your heat when in this style. Beast. Literally, this style is all about tanking and using the world around you as your means of releasing all those unga urges, you fucking gorilla. Frankly, I never really use this style as it's just too slow without anything to really keep momentum going, and once you're stuck blocking, it's problematic to really get out of those situations where everyone else is just as unga as you. Now, let me just de-unga myself and there we go! Eye patches are a real catch, don't you?
No, it's too gay in here!
Ayo, you ever wanted a subdued and calmer Cyclops? Well, that's Majima in this game. Quiet, serious, and a man with a heart.
うちの店に来た客になら土下座でもするし靴でも舐めたるわ。せやけど、客やないなら話は別。まして、喧嘩売りに来たチンピラなんぞに、俺が優しいと思うな。
全部私のせい。ごめんなさい。私のせいでごめんなさい。
泣くことあらへんがな。お前は何も悪ない。しっかりせえ。誠。
It's honestly really refreshing nowadays to see Majima as both the center stage character and as a different man entirely. Majima grows because of the people around him, unlike Kiryu who mainly grows due to the circumstances that follow him. Now to get back to talking about style, which Majima actually has plenty of. Thug. Basically the same as Kiryu's Brawler, except Majima has the ability to dodge cancel! But aside from that, Majima just does less damage than Kiryu in this stance, but overall has more chances for movement. Breaker. This is the most Chad style and fucks the game. I am not fucking kidding. The only thing that hurts this style is that leading into heavy hits takes a minute. Swag and drip have a price made in blood. Slugger. I don't really like using the style very much. Its main downside is that it can clash with anything in the game. If you're not going out of your way to get a certain bat, then this style is literally just heats and health boosters. Alright, enough about talking about men, and let's get talking about men's lives! It's time to talk about the story! I'm gonna be frank. This is the best story in the franchise to me. You're probably expecting me to go all ballistic and tell you the entire story and drag out the video for like an hour or so, right? No. You have things to do, and so do I. So let's have some fun. So I'm gonna do a segment called All and Nothing. Basically, I give you everything and nothing of the chapter at the same time. You ready? Chapter 1. Oopsies! Did I get framed for murder?
Fuck you, kid, you're dead!
Boy! Chapter 2. Himbo gets curious.
Regret.
Chapter 3. Majima wa Yakuza! Chapter 4. Man meets opportunity, man gets Yakuza.
I hear someone building diaper changing station!
Chapter 5. Himbo meet real estate. Chapter 6. It smelled like Dojima in here.
You know what? You're not scary. You're just weird.
Chapter 7. The Cyclops Grinch grows a heart.
I've made a terrible mistake.
Chapter 8. Yeah, you win some, you lose some. Chapter 9. Ayo, the Dojima here. Chapter 10. Himbo hides, Himbo gets auctioned.
If God had wanted you to live, he would not have created me.
Chapter 11. Become fight sexual, gain waifu insight.
What's good? Bang!
Chapter 12. Trial by fight sexual.
He's gonna kick me again, isn't he?
Chapter 13. Learn friend, become Mamoru. Chapter 14. A dragon born through tears.
Smell like bitchy here.
Chapter 15. Yo, you ever break a Cyclops?
Water and water and water, water, water.
Chapter 16. Hearts are controlling, innit?
Wife. Good.
Chapter 17. Fuck around and find out. You wanna know what these mean? Waste 20 puncheroos and find out. I ain't handed you sense. Now instead of making sense, I'll make sure I make even less sense. Because it's sub-stories time! Whoa, 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 hold up there, stranger. Aren't you forgetting what's containing the sub-stories? Okay, so Yakuza loves to throw you into what is essentially a playground, and those play cities are called Kamurocho and Sotenbori for Kiryu and Majima respectively. Both of them are like any other city, with shops, people walking around, and a lot of things to possibly do in them. You have a wallet. Don't be afraid to waste it, you Scrooge.
Ah, it's good to see you.
The towns themselves house not only shops for any of your personal needs, they also house places where you can tap into memes or vibes. They both have bars and restaurants which house not only food, but also bar games to play and chill to. There's also karaoke with songs that aren't just Anyways, this is a rhythm game, and it's a nice time, although I don't care for it much. There's also disco and, So if you're like me and don't intend on doing either mini games or sport balls, you can always stock up on drugs and coat yourself in Red Bull because you're a working adult who lives off of energy drinks and depression. What do you mean this is the 1980s? So all in all, you can eat, get drugged, find the memes that I loathe now, and in general get lost in the world that Yakuza provides. Now instead of getting lost, let's go back to getting lost in... So littered through Akamarocho and Sultan Bori are sub-stories which are like side quests that mainly pertain to the characters around each respective town. Usually this is where the wackiness of Yakuza comes in because Yakuza itself is a pretty serious franchise.
楽しみや。わしは強いもんを見るとな、あそこが固なってしまうんや。もう我慢できへん。
Most of the time. Sub-stories can go in a variety of ways and can be found in a variety of ways. This is where a good chunk of extra time can go into these games, because of the variety that sub-stories bring. They could be something as simple as just talking and picking the right dialogue options, or something that involves mini-games. More often than not, you're gonna end up in a few fistfights because misunderstandings and disfigurations is the name of the city. Sub-stories can go one of two ways, long or short. Long sub-stories require you to do certain actions like buying items from a specific shop, or even doing slot car racing, or even... Yes. These motherfuckers last until you complete them in their entirety, which for some, business included, take a hot minute. Although when it comes to getting rewards via business minigames, you'll be getting some unlocks and rewards throughout the stories themselves, so you won't have to essentially wait the entire sub-story, but at the very least you'll be going through the motions just to get more unlocks and more goodies, and just in general more out of the experience. Although, who knows, there might be a few secrets in it for you if you're willing to complete the game. Now, shorter sub-stories are just singular affairs. You encounter them, you do what the sub-story entails, and it's done. These are the sub-stories you're more than likely bound to run into and play out akin to a visual novel in a sense. Just read the dialogue, answer the questions, and make sure you're paying attention. Although sometimes you're gonna have to have a knowledge check because Yakuza likes to do that sometimes and hit you with questions that you might not even know, but you'll learn in the end. Either way, you're more than likely going to be getting into a fight by the end of it, or even during the sub-story itself. Also, another thing, these sub-stories usually have some kind of lesson for the character, and it's usually wholesome. Usually? Enough about talking about not punching and then getting into punching. I actually want to talk about punching money! The inner gorilla is screaming! Alright, time to talk about my favorite part about the entire franchise, and the thing I always look forward to, the gameplay. Now, this is not Devil May Cry. This is not some wacky action game that's out to brutalize you into a man. This is Yakuza, a franchise that's much more stripped back. We're not here to push buttons and get max succeed, and we're definitely not here to do anything that Dante does. Grab a soda, walk around the town, meet a few people, and maybe get into a fist fight or two. You're not out here to kill your hands, you're here to get sucked in. Even then, the most you're doing is step dash cancels from Majima, or literally pressing grab with Kiryu mid-string. This is a game about simple, easy-to-grasp combat with bouts of reaction, and funnily enough, neutral. We'll come back to this soon enough, trust me. So you've got the basic light button, heavy button, light combo strings. Heavy does the finisher, you also got a throw and a dodge. You got the real basic and fundamental things of an action game. However, funny thing is about that heavy button, you'll be able to do a lot more with it as time goes on. Do more things with both characters? How, you ask? Hey kid! Eat this money!
What? That's so.
Hey, it's like milk. It makes you nice and strong. So, you want me to drink it? Yes, eat this money.
I already don't like this conversation.
So yeah, you get stronger by basically doing a wallet bore and throwing everything you have at an upgrade. Some are locked behind certain sub-storylines, and others are locked behind the trainers for each style you run into. Just eat your wallet, heat it up, and make sure you get good along the way. Another thing to mention is heat. The gauge underneath your health bar, that fucking matters a lot in this game. So, there's an upgrade usually called Combo Speed Boost. Basically, you're able to do punchies faster and a lot easier. It usually allows your strings to be more true instead of getting blocked. Here in Zero, however, your heat is tied to that skill, so at level 1, you've got nothing, and you're really slow. But as you move up, you start hitting shit faster and a lot easier. So, if you're on lower difficulties and like using your heat and don't really pay attention much to it, the main thing you need to listen out for is sound. Sound is going to be a big indicator in letting you know that your attacks are hitting harder, and also the fact that, you've actually got heat. So if you're listening in mid-fight, it'll be a lot easier to manage yourself. You can do another thing with your heat, and just blow the fucking thing! Just like your wallet! Can't grab the fucker when he's on the floor and don't feel like using Beast? Just heat the fucker! Don't feel like dodging or near a wall? Just heat the fucker! Are you tired of playing the game? Heat your console! You gain more heats via trainers and learning what they've got to teach you. So go talk to people, you antisocial fuck. Do I have to tell you about dodging? Please don't tell me I have to teach you about dodging. If I do, learn to do it. It makes your life easier. Use your eyes. You have them. Okay, I've talked at length about playing the game, but what about learning the game? Let's talk about enemies. So, there's movesets, weight classes, and emotions. Let's go down the list. Movesets are the thing that make you think about certain encounters on the street or during long battles, because certain movesets are easy and others just fucking suck to deal with. Granted, the worst movesets are only at endgame, but there's still some that are a pain in the fucking ass. Weight classes matter because armor and movesets. Some weight classes have common movesets, but others have specific movesets. Now, emotions are interesting.
Get that
There are two
motherfucker.
states: pissing cornflakes and shitting bricks. So when an enemy is pissed off after getting told that mashing on wake up is a lie, they might do a few things. One of those is start attacking more and barely letting you get a hit. 2, pull out a weapon, which can vary. If you see a knife or a gun, kill them. And 3, armor time! Dealing with a Kevin isn't fun, because you're gonna get knocked down and lose a lot of heat. Now we deal with a Melvin, and this happens when you either kick their asses hard enough or manage to take out the guy who started the encounter. They are now easy pickings, won't attack as much, and are free to getting fisty. But wait! I'm not done talking about enemies because we gotta talk about the mosh pits of the franchise! Long battles! Basically a gauntlet of rooms, QTEs, and a fuckload of Kevins and Melvins. These also lead into my other favorite thing about Yakuza. So, bosses are what make me love a Yakuza game, since it's basically all that I love about the main gameplay, just with bigger health bars and more engaging movesets. Bosses are like you without the drip and wallet. They have a moveset, they hurt, and they also have heat! So normally, bosses start out with you pushing their shit in until... Yep, QTE is in a boss fight. If you fuck these up, you're bound to lose an eye. Anyways, the QTEs in Yakuza 0 are not intrusive in any way for one reason. They're predictable. They always happen as you're reaching the final health bar, so always be ready because if you fuck up a QTE, you not only lose health, but heat as well. On the bright side, if you succeed, you keep your health and gain heat. Oh, and speaking of heat, bosses also have heat mode, in which they're harder to knock down and have armor. Have fun knocking down that last chunk of life bar, you legless fuck. Yakuza is a franchise for many different kinds of people, and it can be played in many different ways. It all depends on the player. I might not personally enjoy some of the side content that the game has to offer, but it's not intrusive and it's never necessary to finish the game. I think the game's narrative, pacing, and general structure is brilliant and always a joy to come back to. People change, tears are shed, hearts are broken, and most of all, it's still engaging, kept me in my seat from start to end when I first played it almost a year ago. Again, the main point about sub-stories and side content still apply. It may not be my cup of tea, and it might not appeal to me and how I enjoy the game, but it's there for subsequent playthroughs or even during my own off time. The game exists as it does for the enjoyability of all, for the gamer who wants to settle down and enjoy a story and get lost in a world of wackiness and color, or for the gamer who seeks gameplay thrills via harder difficulties or challenging stipulations. This is a game for many different walks of life and many different outlooks on life and how you enjoy video games. This is a game where even the flaws don't feel like flaws, just minor grievances and nitpicks because the main experience is so beautiful and well designed that it sold me on the franchise. Even when trying to write out a point for the script, everything trails back to something actually thematically relevant to the game and its world. I can't fault the game for what it does. Consider that blind love or actual quality. Whatever you say is completely up to you. Yakuza is a game about life. It's about doing the right thing, and most of all, it's about being a better person and being strong even when life throws the worst of the worst at you. So to you, I say, play the game if you got time to spare. I'm sure you'll find something to enjoy. I know I did in this meaty and perfect game.